Coach.
Hey, I'm your new neighbor. I like the yellow door, my friend.
I appreciate
it's classy.
that. Well, Coach Edwards, if you're here, that must mean it's time for Between Two Herms. All right, well, so here I am. I am surrounded by football knowledge. To one side, former NFL player Herm Edwards. To the other, I have former NFL coach Herm Edwards. I am, in fact, between two Herms. All right, so, Herm, let's talk Seahawks-Packers this weekend. What do you expect to see between Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers?
Two quarterbacks that can extend the play, and this is the play that's not rehearsed, not practiced against. And I think if you're both defenses, you're concerned with that. And the fact that both these guys, when they get outside the pocket, it's more freelance football than it is to the scripted football. And there lies the problem for both defenses. Basically, what you have to do is keep these guys corralled inside the pocket. Don't allow them to use their legs to create plays, because when that happens, the defense breaks down and all of a sudden big plays occur.
So I think a lot of people think, hey, Seahawks, pretty good defense, obviously, but you're playing Aaron Rodgers in a great offense. I think you're starting all your studs here, but you could see maybe some extra looks for guys like Martellus Bennett or Jimmy Graham or some of the, Randall Cobb, the guys when they're scrambling around those second, third options, right, Coach? That when you're scrambling around and plays are breaking down, that's where you start looking.
Exactly right.
All right, let's move on to the Cowboys and the Giants, Coach, and expectations for Dak Prescott.
Well, I think if you're Dak, this all runs through your offensive line, and they're not going to get away from who they are. When you think about what this team can do, regardless of who the running back is, time of possession is critical for the Dallas Cowboys. They keep the ball away from their opponents almost 32 minutes. What does that do? It keeps your defense off the field. And that's the critical part, because if this defense gets exposed, and I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense, against these receivers that the Giants have, it could be a long afternoon.
Yeah, no question about that. I think a lot of people are excited to see what happens with Dak Prescott, especially against that Giants defense. I don't think people realize just how good the Giants defense is. It'll be interesting to see what Dak can do after that amazing rookie year, and all the attention, of course, on the running back in Dallas. I have Dak as a low-end QB1 this week. All right, Coach, let's talk about the Raiders and the Titans. Now, I was in a draft last night, and I took Marcus Mariota. Am I going to be happy on Sunday?
Well, I think you'll be very happy, because when you think about this Raider defense, it's a little bit shaky right now, especially in the back end, in the middle of it, at the linebacker core. And if you're Marcus Mariota in this offense, you have one of the better offensive lines, similar to how the Oakland Raiders are built, good offensive line, but they can run the football. This Titans football team, and with that being the case, the Raiders will load up the box to try to stop the run. This will allow Mariota to throw the ball down the field, and this is where the Raiders are vulnerable. Last year, 98 passes of 15 or more. That's not a good stat.
Yeah, no question about it. But I think so much emphasis is going to be on trying to stop that run game that opens it up for Mariota. And again, what they did in the offseason, bringing in Eric Decker, drafting Corey Davis, Rashard Matthews and Delaney Walker back. There's a lot of weapons now and toys for Marcus Mariota. Going to be tough for defensive coordinators trying to figure out how to game plan for the Titans this year. This has been great, obviously, but it's weird. You guys are talking at the same time. So I was just wondering, former player and former coach, Herm, if maybe we could try to, switch it up a little bit. Like for this last question here, if we could just, maybe try to talk at different times. So I want to talk about the Saints and the Vikings, right? I think everyone's talking about the return of Adrian Peterson, but talk to me a little bit about Drew Brees. Like, what do you see here from this game? Is it going to be all about the running backs, or is it more about the quarterback, Coach?
Well, this game is about Drew Brees, and I know everyone's concerned, is Minnesota going to stop Adrian Peterson, how they're going to do it? They have to understand the way you stop this team is through Drew Brees. Drew Brees is one of those guys that he needs to score points. How do you score points in our league? You throw the football. So that's a concern for the Minnesota Vikings. It's not stopping Adrian Peterson. This team is built opposite of most teams. They throw the football to score so they can play with a lead and then run the ball. So look for the Saints to come out throwing the football, trying to get on the board early and often.
It's going to be a great game. Well, there you go, the inaugural segment of Between Two Herms. I enjoyed it a lot. Guys, what did you think of the segment?
Well, I thought that's way
really
too much
well.
Herm. Two Herms in one box. I can't watch it anymore. I got to go.